So this is me cutting some leather, very focused, but let's skip ahead a bit. Hi, I'm Lie, and you're watching Creativity Over Quality. This week will be what we call a feuilleton, a series in 2 parts. I will show you how to make a simple utility belt. This week I'm doing the background. I'm preparing some pocket placement and doing this leaf embroidery. Now, there are hardly any difficult techniques, so there is nothing to worry about there. Let's start. So here are all the pieces that I'm using. I'm using 2 different colors for the background, black and dark brown. And then I'm making 3 pockets. 1 for my phone and keys, 1 for cards, and 1 for batteries. These are the pocket walls. Mine are 3 centimeters wide. I first mark out where I'm gonna put my holes. Since I'm gonna do a lacing stitch, I don't want to use a ballpoint pen all the way since it will show. Instead I'm using a pencil. Now, punching holes is very slow, but goes much faster if you use magic. You can then also turn your 4-tined fork into a 3-tined one, like this. So for the first stitch I put the pieces on top of each other to not create a flap. Then it's just a simple lacing stitch. So why I use utility belts has to do with the fact that I got sick 10 years ago. I got a pretty bad brain disease that made me feel very scared and unsafe all the time. I'm tons better now, and I got about halfway here on my own and halfway after I got some help. The difference is, the first half took me around 8 years and the half where I got help took me around 2 years. So I'm strongly in favor of getting help. If you're struggling, it's possible you can do it on your own, but it will take longer and you don't have to, so ask for help. Doesn't have to be professional, but some kind of help. There are of course still things that affect me. I still feel very unsafe in a bunch of settings, and I still feel safest at home. So if I'm gonna leave my home, I feel safer the more things I bring from my home, and hence utility belt. So this is the back side of my project. I make a double lining to make it a bit more sturdy. Apply a thin layer of contact cement and make sure it reaches the edges. When the glue isn't sticky anymore, it's time to fold it. Then whack it with a mallet to get rid of any air bubbles. I punch holes to make a seam all along the lining. Then I take something round to draw a nice curve for the tip. You will just have to trust that that's what I'm doing, since I haven't yet mastered the art of keeping my head out of the frame. Then I punched new holes for that part of the lining, since I didn't think of that before. Now I do a saddle stitch. I start on the second hole and go back one hole to fasten the thread before I continue forward. After I've tied the threads, I push them out between the layers to hide the ends. And you should have something that looks like this. Then I place my pockets and draw a line a millimeter or so in from the edge to mark out where I should put my stitching holes. I punch the holes with a stitching chisel. And for the large pocket as well. There's an empty spot on the left side of my utility belt, so on that spot I wanted an embroidery, because leather embroidery seems fun, right? And I'm a huge fan of leaves. This design and others can be found for free on our Patreon page. I cut it out and fasten it with some masking tape. Then I use a stitching awl to poke holes all along the lines of my drawing. And the last thing I'll do this week is to embroider. I stitch 1 step back and 2 steps forward. But you don't want to see me embroider this, so I'll do it watching Star Trek, and then I'll come back when I'm almost done. There we go. So this is as far as we get this week. Next week I'll put on some pockets and show you how to do the fastening mechanism. So you should subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for watching, and as we say in our hometown, ha det gött, hej!